Well, at the beginning of the Caravan, I'll tell you, I had a whole page of plaudits and accolades to read about Bill, and he said, Ken, he said, skinny that down, we don't need all that, we don't need all that. So I will just tell you, I don't think we could have found a better person to lead our football program than Bill O'Brien. In his 20th year of coaching, and last year was his first as a head coach, and I'll just tell you, he was selected as the 2012 Bear Bryant Coach of the Year, ESPN Coach of the Year, Maxwell Collegiate Club Coach of the Year, and he continues an amazing legacy of Brown graduates leading our program. So please welcome Bill O'Brien.
Thank you. I just want to talk about hockey. I mean, that video did that not jack you up or what? Holy smoke. I'm gonna be screaming Civ at that goalie, that opposing goalie every time. That's gonna be fun. I can't wait for that. This was known, right, as the follically challenged Coaches Caravan. And thank God Guy joined us. Because we had Chambers, Pavlik, and O'Brien, and that was not a good thing for hairdressers across Pennsylvania. No, it's fantastic. It's great to be here. You know, both coaches have already talked about this. Just to be able to be on the bus and drive around Pennsylvania. We've been to New York City also. We've been to Washington, D.C., Baltimore. Been to a number of stops, and just to have the camaraderie. On the bus, the last 2 days we've had Dr. Joyner with us, and just a lot of laughs, but a lot of strategy and a lot of talk about how to make everything better, how to improve not only our own programs, but obviously what we're trying to do in the athletic department. So it's great to be here in DuBois today with you. Now, how many people were at the Wisconsin game? Okay, now a couple people have asked me to clarify something. What? Hold on. Don't laugh yet. So I was I signed a couple out. I still can't figure out why people want my picture, but that's all right. So I'm just taking some pictures back there and signing autographs, and a couple people said, Coach, you know, after that Wisconsin game, what'd you say there? And so, you know, it was everybody that was there, a very windy night, right? Very windy, you know, wind causes problems with the microphone, right? So, you know, obviously Sam Ficken, who started off the season slowly, came back and basically made the last 12 field goal attempts that he had, and he kicked a winning kick against Wisconsin in that overtime period, and after it was over, we're all jumping around, everything's great, and here comes the TV reporter, and she sticks the microphone in my face, and she says, Coach, what do you have to say about your team? And I said, these guys are a bunch of fighters. They've been fighting all year. They never stop fighting. They never quit. They're a bunch of fighters. And that's what I said. Not funny. So, go in the locker room, and it was a very bittersweet scene for the coaches because, you know, as coaches, we know that was the last time that 2012 team was going to be really together. You know, we had a banquet, but that was really a senior banquet, and so, you know, the 12 team, that was it. And we felt like we were really playing well at that time. We'd have loved to play some more football, but we couldn't. And so we broke the team down, said our goodbyes, and then I went back into the coaches' locker room with the coaches, and we're convincing back there about the game. And I look at my phone, and I got 5 messages from my mom. Now you got to know who my mom is. My mom is about 80 years old. She's up in Boston, Massachusetts, they actually live south of Boston now. Irish Catholic, daily mass, you can imagine. Very competitive. And so I call her, I'm thinking there's something wrong, you know, what's the matter? Everything all right? And so I call her on the phone, I said, Mom, you know, what's the matter? And she says, I can't believe you embarrassed our family like that on national TV. It's incredible. And I said, oh, what are you talking about? I would never do that. I would never embarrass the family like that on national TV. I mean, you know, I've never done that before. Oh, yes, you have. That's what you said to Tom Brady about 2 years ago. I can't win. But like everybody said here, you know, on behalf of our coaches and everybody associated with this caravan tour, we really want to thank you for being here today. We want you to leave, if you leave here with one theme, I just want you personally, from me to you, to leave here with our appreciation for what you do, for what you've done in the past, financially, personally, over many, many years, many years. I look out there and I hear all the stories. It's always somewhat overwhelming to me. You know, I've had season tickets since the 50s, and I've passed them down through generations of my family, or you know, I just graduated from Penn State, and I've already bought my season tickets. I mean, it stretches over many, many different eras, and we're very appreciative of everything that you do. And just a little bit about our football team. I'm very excited about our football team. I think we've got a bunch of really good kids again. We've got guys that are working hard. We've got guys that go to class, that believe in the right things. And I've said this over and over on this caravan tour. That was the one thing that I promised Coach Paterno when I took this job. I was able to speak to him about 10 days before he passed away. And I know obviously that was a hugely difficult time for him. But he picked up the phone and we talked, and he said, can you just promise me that you continue the tradition of tough Penn State football with fantastic academics, guys that graduate, guys that go to class? And I promised him that I would do that, and I think we're really trying to do that on a daily basis. We've got that type of team. We've got guys on offense, some guys that are veteran players. Then we'll have a brand new quarterback. During the question and answer period, that question is off limits. Get that? All right? But whoever plays quarterback for us next year will be their first time playing quarterback at the Division I level, and that's not easy. You know, that's a young man that's playing in front of 90,000 at home, in front of 108,000 fans, and that's not going to be easy. So our veteran players, the guys that have played in a lot of football games, they really have to play well around him and be patient with that position, as well as the coaches. But we feel good about our offense. Then defensively, we've got a lot of guys back at all the positions. We don't have great depth at the linebacker position, but we have some young guys coming in that we think can really help us, both scholarship players and run-on type players. And we've added some depth in the secondary with Trevor Williams and Malik Golden over there, and we think that those guys had good springs, and we've got better depth in the secondary than we had in the past, or last year, excuse me. And our defensive line, we've got Deion Barnes back, DaQuan Jones, along with some really good young players that we think are going to play well for us. So we're very excited to get back. The kids will report back on Monday for the first summer school session. All the workouts over the summertime are voluntary, but these guys do a lot of hard work in the summertime. They go to class, they lift weights, they condition, they do 7-on-7s together. We're not allowed to coach them, so they're kind of on their own, and they have to make a lot of strides, and I'm sure looking forward to seeing those guys get back here on Monday, and then training camp will start in late July. So that's kind of a little bit of a synopsis of where we are as the football team. But you know, one of the real reasons why we're here and why I'm here is just to, obviously already what I said is to make sure you understand how much we appreciate what you do, but also, you know, as the head football coach, I'm often asked to speak to large gatherings, you know, and most of the time it's about football. And really I could stand up here just like Pav could talk about volleyball, and just like Guy could talk about hockey. We could stand up here forever and talk for hours on end about our individual sports, because that's our passion. But our other passion, which is equal, is Penn State. And what we think is, as coaches, we believe that our individual sports are very important as part of the team, as part of the one team. But this whole deal right now, in the situation that we're in, but also just Penn State, our individual sports are not bigger than Penn State. And that's our message to you today. And one thing that I'm certain of is that what I say about our football team, our schedule, the Big Ten, and yes, even the NCAA, is a whole lot less important than what I can say about my personal feelings on this special university. I want to be very, very clear with you today about something. Other than the health, safety, and education of every Penn State student, every Penn State student athlete. In my opinion, there's nothing more important to our university right now than your support, your continued support, and our unity. Our unity for our student athletes today and moving forward into the future. And here's some reasons why. Here's why. Let's start with the fact that every guy on our team, volleyball, hockey, football, regardless of position, state that they're from, economic background, or in football, how many stars they receive in the meaningless recruiting rankings. We were in Scranton yesterday, or last night. We had 900 people there. Matt McGloin was up on the stage. And I asked him, how many recruiting rankings did you, what was your star, whatever. What were your stars in the recruiting rankings? Zilch. He had 0. So it's about getting the right student athlete to come to Penn State. I think we all say this when we talk about recruiting. It's about the fit. Who fits, who wants to play volleyball, who wants to play hockey, who wants to be a Penn State student. Because at the end of the day, that's what they are. They are students first. They are students first, and that'll always be what Penn State is about. That's our culture. That's our culture across 31 teams, and that's always been the case. On our football team, I've been really trying to, take me a while, I'm a slow learner, but when I talk about Penn State, I try to do as much reading as I can on Penn State. And one of the things I read the other day, which was interesting, which I probably should have known this right off the bat, but like I said, I went to Brown, I didn't go to Penn State. So at Penn State, there are 14 colleges. And on our football team, 12 of those colleges are represented as far as our majors. That's incredible. You go to any other university, any other Division I football team in the country, and you look at their majors, and I would say that maybe 4 or 5 are reflected, but not 12 out of 14. That's one of the greatest things to me about Penn State is that these kids can find their niche. They can go and find what they want to major in, what they have a passion for, and they can succeed in it. Our guys are here for an education. The Penn State degree, which we have so many alums out in the crowd today, gives them a leg up on others when it comes to time to enter the workforce. In order to get that leg up and keep it, our student athletes, our students, need the best classroom facilities, they need the best professors, they need the best lab tools, they need the best internship opportunities, living spaces. I could go, weight rooms. We did it with the hockey rink. We need to upgrade rec hall. We need your support now more than ever. Now more than ever. And that's why we're here today, is to thank you and to encourage you to continue to support our efforts at Penn State. There's no more important time than now, especially in the midst of all that we've been through and all that we're up against in the future. We have to remember that the success of our students now and years from now is why we are here. We talk about one team. We always talk about one team. People credit me for bringing that here. This is how that went down. When I was interviewing for this job with Dr. Joyner, I brought that up in the interview. And I was coming from the New England Patriots, which is a very successful NFL organization. And the one thing that we hammered home to our players in New England, and it was from the top down, was that you can win with the one-team attitude. What does that mean? Everybody understands their role. Everybody understands what they have to do, how to pull their own weight, and everybody in that place knows that they are not bigger than the team. And that's what one team means. That's why, if you look at football as an example, we've opened up our weight room to the other sports. I know Guy's strength coach works with Fitzy quite a bit, and Pav's guys use our training room to come over and get treatment, and on and on and on. So that's what we're trying to do, is we've got these great facilities there. That's one example of one team, and there's many, many other examples. We go to games. I've been to hockey games, and I've been to basketball games, and I've been to wrestling matches, and I really enjoy all the different sporting events. And that's what one team means. It's no secret. It's not a secret that others expect us to be down. This is a competitive business. Right, yeah, that's right. They're going to go to class and they're going to get degrees, and we're going to do as good a job as we can at coaching them. But when it comes time to recruiting and it comes time to raising money, it's a business. That's what it is. And it's tough. It's tough, and people expect us to be down in donations, down in ticket sales, down in enrollment, and down in the standings. We don't need to be. We don't need to be. Our university, our people, our students, and our history say that we're better than that. And everyone in this room and all the other rooms that we've been in over the last 2 weeks knows it. You know that's the truth. From a competitive standpoint, let me just say that other football teams are painting the picture on a daily basis that we are way down and not about to recover anytime soon. That's recruiting. That's recruiting. That's why when you look at what we've done in football, and this is our assistants, not me. Head coaches in football they're not allowed to go out on the road and recruit as much as it used to be. Our assistants are out there right now. We've been to 180 schools already in 2 weeks. Most of those schools in Pennsylvania recruiting young Pennsylvania guys to come to Penn State. The interest in Penn State, which says a lot about you, the interest in Penn State, in my opinion, is incredible. They don't care about the sanctions. They just want to come play and earn a degree at one of the greatest universities in the world to do that, to play football and earn a degree. And this fall, we got to go out there and we got to prove ourselves again, just like guys got to go out there in the winter. And it's a whole new season and prove their team's got to prove themselves again. And Pav's got to go to his 16th Final Four again. I mean, that's coaching. That's what it's all about. And that's what we have to do every year. We have to continue to show what we're made of and prove ourselves. And I want to say something else that's the truth. I feel like it's the truth. I believe it. I've been here for 16 months. I'm like Guy. I haven't been here quite as long as Guy, but we're kind of new. And I see every day you learn something new about Penn State. And I'm kind of tired of hearing otherwise. Our coaches, the athletic department led by Dave, our academic support staff, and certainly our student athletes, we have a culture of integrity. That's not something new to Penn State. That's been the way it was before I got here. These are fantastic kids that we coach, and we do it the right way. As a football team, we're going to go out there and do our part. We're going to be prepared. We're going to play hard. And we're going to win some games. We're not going to win every game. I hate to tell you, okay? Look, we're going to win hopefully more than we lose. But at the end of the day, we're going to play hard, and we're going to be prepared, and we're going to try to be a very smart, tough Penn State football team. And at the end of the sanctions, hopefully we come out of this thing as a very successful football program. Wouldn't that be a very special thing? I think it would be. The thing that, when you drive onto our campus, when I drive in from where I live, first thing you see as you drive up is the stadium, the football stadium. And I'm not saying that it's a football school. That's not what I'm driving at. But one of the ways that we can show our strength and we can show our resiliency and our unity and our commitment to Penn State and what we believe in is by filling Beaver Stadium every Saturday. In my opinion right now, there's nothing better than that. To fill Beaver Stadium, 108,000 fans, because as that might sound very self-serving as the head football coach, I'm not looking at that as the head football coach. I'm trying to do my part. I'm the football coach to help Dave and to help Dr. Erickson to move this thing forward. And a full stadium leads to many great things. Financial stability for our department, which means healthy sports programs across the board, which means recruiting the best students to come and wear our uniforms, which means higher graduation rates, contributing members of our communities and responsible Penn State alums dispersed into the workplace, establishing careers, remaining in touch with us, and eventually, like you, giving back. And it means a university that remains proud of its athletic department and an alumni base that confidently believes and upholds who we are and what we believe in. That's way bigger than football. That's why a full stadium on Saturday is way bigger than football. Again, thank you very much for being here today. It's always good to travel in Pennsylvania because I know I'm from Boston. I know I'm a Bruins fan. Sorry, Pat. What are we, Penguins here? Yeah, sorry for that. But I feel, in all seriousness, I feel like that I fit because I meet people. Pat said this last year. He said that Penn State is about a lot of ordinary people that do extraordinary things. And I think that's what Penn State's about, and that's why I enjoy coaching here, and that's the type of kids we have on our teams. And again, I'm not kidding about the importance of signing up to get your season tickets and encouraging others to get theirs. It's that important to us. As a coach, I understand the fine line between winning and losing. Many out there expect us to lose. And I'm not just talking about the final score. Now is the time to look at the person on your left and the person on your right and lock arms and go and demonstrate that a full stadium at Penn State is a statement about a whole lot more than football. Thank you.